Mrs. Jones. Well, good timing. I've just finished my deliveries for the day. 8 miles on that bike will keep you fit, I tell you. I was just about to go over to the lamb and prepare for the day. If I'm not in the post office, you can always press the button and I'll be more than happy to come over and help you. You know that.
I'm well, thank you, Mrs. Griffiths. Ah yes, good timing indeed. I don't know how you do it, running 2 businesses with your husband. You must be so busy between here and the lamb.
Well, there's nowhere better to live than Blaenwaun. And I so enjoy working in the post office and the lamb, of course. And in these strange times, we've all got to do our bit. Keep calm and carry on, haven't we? Oh, how is John Bach? Have you heard from him lately?
He's good, thank you, I think. Well, you never can tell, can you? Oh, Mrs. Griffiths, he shouldn't be out there fighting. He should be here with me and his father. But I'm so proud of him. He's doing his bit for the war effort. We're all doing our bit in some way or another. I'm very much hoping that you can join us for another knitting party with the WI. I'm hoping to arrange another soon. There's always a need for socks for the soldiers.
Well, you know, you should be proud of John Bach. He is a credit to both you and your husband. And yes, I do enjoy your knitting parties. I'll come along. Thank you, Minnie. That'll be 2p, please. I'll make sure this arrives safe in its destination, don't you worry. Oh, to Dowlais. So isn't that where Gwen Evans went to help her aunt and her new baby?
Yes, she did, yes. It's a coincidence that my friend Minnie lives there too. She runs the draper shop, and what a shop it is. Well, diolch yn fawr, Mrs. Griffiths. I'll not keep you any longer. I'll let you go and open up the lamb. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, hwyl am y tro.
Hwyl.
Oh, good morning. Welcome to Emlyn Davies Drapers Shop. How can I help you? What would you like to buy? Oh, I sell Welsh flannel shirts, some wool, needles, threads. What would you like? Oh, a new face I don't recognise. Oh, so you're Gwen. Gwen, who's moved from Blaenwaun in West Wales, or down country as we say here in Dowlais. You're here to help your aunt look after her new baby, yes? Oh, Gwen, it's so good to finally meet you. Oh, I was so pleased to hear the news from Mr. Evans, the grocer's, that the baby had arrived. I hope they're doing well. And what good timing. I've just received a letter from my friend Mary in Blaenwaun, and she sends her love. It's such a coincidence that we're both friends with Mary. Oh, excuse my manners. My name is Minnie Owen, or as everyone calls me around here, Minnie, and I am the owner of Emlyn Davies Drapers Shop here in Dowlais. Do you know, my father, Emlyn Davies, came from Newcastle Emlyn, not too far away from Blaenwaun, and he moved here for work and eventually opened this shop in 1898. Do you see, in my father's time, it was so busy because people used to come to Dowlais for working in the coal mines and also in the ironworks. And you know what? Our best seller is the Welsh flannel shirts. They're really good for the workers down the mines and also in the ironworks. They come from the Cambrian mills in Drafach, Valindre, not too far from Blaenwaun and really close to where my father was born in Newcastle Emlyn. Well, time has flown, and here we find ourselves 45 years later in 1943 in the midst of another world war. Do you know, Mary tells me she's ever so worried about her son, John. He's 21 and in the army. But you know, she's so proud of him. He's serving his king and country. And we're all proud of the boys, aren't we, Gwen? Do you know, the Bevin boys that work down the mines, they're doing a sterling job too. They're keeping this country going. We all must do our bit for the war effort. And you know, she was telling me about her evacuee Tommy from London. Did she tell you about the time that Tommy first saw her chickens? No? Oh gosh. Well, he had the biggest fright. He'd never seen chickens before. but now he's much more used to them, and he's named them all too. Well, it must be such a difference for the evacuees in the countryside. I felt sorry for them, having to wave goodbye to their mothers at the station with their gas masks and labels around their necks and just a small suitcase. Oh gosh, I look after a evacuee here. Her name's Emlyn. She's 16, the same age as my daughter Joan. I've also got a son, Alan, and he's 13. Fortunately, they get on really well. But in the countryside, they're all speaking Welsh there. But I've heard the evacuees are now learning Welsh too. Gosh, the evacuees escaping the bombing. In the countryside, they haven't had the same issues with bombing. Or here, really, not like Cardiff or Swansea. I remember that time of the Blitz of 1941. From the attic, I could see the glow in all directions, from Swansea and Cardiff, and all the bombs and the fires. It's so sad. All those people who lost their lives, their livelihoods and their homes. But there's so many people doing their bit to help us and keep us all safe. My friend, Mr. Evans, the grocer's, well, his friend, Mr. Thomas Keenan in Cardiff, he was a watchman at a fuel depot. And he managed, with his hat, to take the firebomb off the top of the tank of petrol. And the tank of petrol was saved. Well, his hands were badly burnt, but everything was saved, and he's such a hero. Let's not forget Sergeant Glyn Griffiths from Llandudno. He's the cousin of Mr. Griffiths, who lives on Alma Street. Well, he was a hero in the Battle of Britain, and he won a medal as well. Gosh, everyone doing their bit to help the war effort. So, what do you think of the blackout here, Gwen? Oh gosh, the ARP wardens, they're everywhere. They're shouting, "Keep that light out," in the evenings. Well, on a brighter note, Gwen, Mary writes that the old disused mills in Cilwendeg, which is in Drapers Shop, there's GIs there, or American soldiers. Do you know, they've been handing out chocolates to the local children. Have you met a GI? My cousin said that apparently there's a prisoner of war camp in Henllan, nearby to Drapers Shop. Apparently there's Italian soldiers there, and they've been working on the farms. And then Mary writes, well, she's finding the rationing tough. The rationing tough, with 1 egg a week. Gosh, she lives in the countryside. There's farms all around. She's friends with the farmers who gives her more milk and eggs, and she has the chickens too. Gosh, it's not like round here, is it, Gwen? We mainly rely on the rations. Gosh, 3 pints of milk, 4 ounces of meat or ham. I could go on. And don't get me started about the queues outside of all of the shops as well. Do you know, round here, people have been digging for victory. They've been creating vegetable packages in their back garden, but I don't have really time to do that with running the business. But Dr. Carrot and Potato Pete would be very proud of them. Do you know, I think I might listen to the wireless and listen to the kitchen front for some ideas for new recipes. Nettle soup doesn't sound very appealing, but we've got to make do with what we've got to make do with and what we have. Oh, well, have you seen this new leaflet, Gwen? Make Do and Mend. Mary was saying that she's making a pair of trousers for Bleddyn Bach next door to her out of her old skirt. It's amazing what you can do with an old skirt or an old jumper. Oh, gosh, this rationing. When it came in 1941, do you know, there's all sorts of coupons and numbers for all different types of things. Well, Mary mentions the land girls. Have you seen them in their hats and their long trousers and their jumpers? I remember when I went down country to stay with an uncle. Oh gosh, 1 week was enough in my muddy overalls. But I'm proud of us women, like we did in the Great War. We really pulled together. I used to be at school in Brecon during the Great War, but then I came back to help my father in the shop because a lot of the men were away fighting. So Mary worked in the munitions factory. They called them the Canary Girls because the chemicals in the bombs turned their skin yellow. And you know what? There's actually a munitions factory nearby in Hirwaun. But I shan't say any more. Careless talk costs lives. Oh, excuse me, tittle-tattering on. What did you say you wanted again?